Welcome everyone. Today we have Kelly, and she's going to be telling us all about LinkedIn and how we can make the most of it. So Kelly, welcome. So tell us, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you've ended up talking about LinkedIn today.
Well, I'm Kelly O'Hare, and I run an agency called Constructive Marketing, and we help businesses boost their brand. Lots and lots of different ways, but we're a B2B specialist, and we have industry specialisms within that, and lots of time poor business owners and SMEs come to me and say, we need to be on LinkedIn. How do we do it? So over the years, I've been asked to work with a lot of different SMEs and micro businesses, even larger firms where I've gone in to train their sales teams. But it's always about how you should be on LinkedIn. People are a bit overwhelmed by the size of it, what they need to do, how they're going to come up with stuff. And so I developed a way of training for LinkedIn that sort of hopefully leaves people with a bit more confidence and just feeling more comfortable in and around LinkedIn, so they can get in there and learn to make the most of it for their specific needs, because there's so much you can get out of LinkedIn these days, and it's evolving all the time. So lots to do.
So I'm going to be totally upfront here. I'm not a man who enjoys social media. So there's Facebook and there's TikTok and there's Instagram and all the rest of it. And there's so many different channels. And when I go through those channels, I look at some of the stories, and let's talk about X, and some of the stories can be quite radical. So why is it you're saying LinkedIn is the right route to go?
If you are in business, LinkedIn is the place to be. Over 200 million users, I think, or even more than that now. In the UK, 4 out of 5 professionals are on LinkedIn. If you think of, I think it's 39 million, it's probably 40 million now, it's probably ticked over already. But the UK's population is just under 70 million. About 20% of them are children in school. About 20% of them are retired. And that leaves, nearly everybody who is of working age is either on LinkedIn, or if they're not, they have retired but stayed on LinkedIn, which makes them, still really useful people with loads and loads of knowledge, and they're worth reaching out to if that's your target market. So there will be your potential suppliers, your clients, your employer, your colleagues will all be on LinkedIn.
Okay, so why? I mean, I don't know if it's still going, but a few years ago, the rave was Snapchat, wasn't it? And
yeah, it's still going.
Still going, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
We talk about TikTok, and we're recording this in January 2025. With a new president coming into America, then it's likely to be banned in America.
It's got 5 days left.
It's got 5 days left, has it? Okay. So, and when I talk to people, and they put so much hard work into their social media, and as I mentioned earlier, to me, platforms come and go. Why is it that LinkedIn seems to be one which, from my memory, has been around for probably 15 years or something? You might put me right.
It's longer than that, I think. But I think it's still around because it made the really good decision to specialize from day one. It started as a platform for business people to meet other business people, and I think that the guys that started it up they freely admit that they looked at Facebook and thought, oh, we need a business version of that.
Okay.
But obviously both have evolved completely differently. LinkedIn is owned by Microsoft now. So
really? When did that happen?
Oh, 2016 is quite
Oh,
a while that they've owned it, but of course it was hugely valuable to them with all the data, all of those users, all of those potential Windows users, but the AI that has been pushed into LinkedIn and all the other sort of video elements that you can use on LinkedIn now, they've all come from Microsoft's knowledge.
okay. So having a massive backer like
Yeah.
Microsoft is big news, isn't it?
Yeah.
And also, I'm guessing, as you say, because it's business focused and centric, it has perhaps more consistency compared to other platforms.
And I
So,
think business has only become more global since LinkedIn started. So, you might, when you first joined LinkedIn, you might have just looked at people in your local area or people in the UK, but actually now, why wouldn't you? There's loads and loads of small businesses use suppliers overseas. So, and it's very, very easy to find them on a platform like LinkedIn.
okay. So LinkedIn makes sense if you want to make business connections, and if wherever it is in the world, and you want to invest in a platform which is going to be here tomorrow and still have its kudos tomorrow, I'm going to call it. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's move on and say, okay, so I mean, there's LinkedIn courses and everyone's, how do I get into LinkedIn?
Well, as a firm, I mean, if we start, the very first thing to do on LinkedIn is just build your personal profile.
Okay.
And when you sign up to LinkedIn, you sign up as a person first. You don't sign your business up first. The majority of people who are working work for companies. So those people need jobs, need to get to know other people in other businesses, will be networking, even if they don't realize they are, they will be networking just by dealing with other businesses in and around what they do. So having a profile on LinkedIn outlines your own professional skills. And on a personal page, when you set it up and you write that summary about yourself, a lot of people say to me, what do I write? I don't know what I'm good at. And think of it as, I am brilliant at this because.
Okay.
It has to be a first person page, your personal page. It's not just your CV. It can become your living CV, and it's probably be a lot more up to date than your actual CV. But LinkedIn isn't just about being headhunted using your personal page. It's about showing your boss that you really value what the company does, and you're liking and sharing the content that comes out through the company page.
So the starting point of LinkedIn is your personal profile. So at the top of the LinkedIn profile, you sort of got a backing screen and a picture of yourself.
Yeah.
Any advice on what that should be on the backing page and the picture of yourself?
Lots of people don't use the header. Please use the header,
okay.
Which is the very long landscape bit behind you. That can just be your company name. It could be something to do with where you work. The awkward thing is, it is quite a difficult thing to crop an image into because it is very, very landscape. But there's lots of free help out there. There's lots of apps, like the free version of Canva will gladly let you crop a picture to fit. As far as your personal page picture goes, it needs to be one of your face as you look now while you were at work.
Okay.
And I say that because I have advised people to take down their holiday snap, to not be in fancy dress. And also, believe it or not, photographers are the worst. The photographer with the camera in front of their face, you can't see their face. How do I know what you look like? So
the picture is that opportunity to people to start to meet you, and therefore picture tells 1,000 stories, and so it's really important. First impressions matter, is what you're saying.
It's you at work.
Yeah, because what we need to, I mean, certainly as someone who's employed, When I look at curriculum CVs and consider, well, should we interview them? The first place I go to is actually LinkedIn. And if they're not on LinkedIn, then I wonder, okay, so are they right for a business to business environment, or are they not? And then obviously I go to Facebook and so forth. So and that's a massive thing, isn't it, for people getting
well
jobs.
and then also if you are on LinkedIn, then you don't update yourself. Now you've got to remember that because LinkedIn is powered by Microsoft, and when you set up your LinkedIn personal profile, you end up, with a forward slash your name, and LinkedIn will add loads of numbers at the end of that. But there is a way to customize that so it can just be your name, or your name with your middle initial, or something like that. And then you can use that on your business cards. You can hyperlink that in your email signature. But if somebody meets you and they can't remember where you work, and they go, oh, that person, I've just got to put their name in to Google, your LinkedIn profile will come top probably. So if it's out of date and it hasn't got your current workplace on it, and it hasn't, look, it's a picture of you from 20 years ago, they might go, oh, no. So yes, this is why people say social media is a necessary evil, because it is something that you've got to keep up. But it's here.
Reflection of yourself. So, but if I've had a LinkedIn page for, I say, 10 years and I haven't done much with it, can I change that profile with the numbers on it without losing the data?
Once you log in as you, you just click on your face and get to your profile, and once it appears, there'll be a little pencil that over any bit that you can edit and you can update. And if you haven't updated anything for a long time, LinkedIn might prompt you to check things, but you can definitely edit everything, your picture, your contact details. There's so many people that don't put good contact details in for them, and then if you're not actually, they check and they've suddenly got 100 million messages from people, and some of them are quite important, but they've not been logging into LinkedIn to notice. So these days, if you're going to be on LinkedIn, download the app to your phone, then you can deal with notifications as they come in, and you won't get a build up. It'll remind you to keep it up to date, and you can do posts while you're out and about. That's one of the brilliant things about having a mobile device that is basically a really powerful computer.
So below the picture, I think you then got a sort of a little bit about me. I don't know what they called it on LinkedIn. How should you write? Should you write that saying this is who I am, or should you write that in a different way?
You definitely write it in the first person, and be talking about you and your skills at work. So you're not talking. Don't talk about I am a train driver and I go from Brighton to London and back every day. Don't say I work for Network Southeast. You are saying I am a highly skilled train driver with 20 years experience, delivering thousands of passengers safely to their destinations every single day, which is a big difference between I work for Network Southeast.
So you really want to explain or be articulate on what you do, and what the benefits are to someone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so and then what else would you say are the big important things to do on your personal profile? In the sense, I mean, do you have to post every day, or I think you encourage recommendations? What would you say the next big step to do is?
Make sure your personal profile is as fleshed out as you possibly can. There's a couple of little anomalies because LinkedIn is American. So when it talks about the school you went to, it actually means university. When it's listing, you can drag things around in your volunteering section. So Like I'm a trustee of a charity, so I, add that on, but I don't want it at the bottom because it's current, so I can move it to the top. You can, if you've got a work experience that you don't really want there anymore, you can just get rid of it. That's the brilliant thing about digital content, is if you move on, ditch your old content. Someone might have a cached version of the old one, but when people are looking at you all the time to see whether you're going to be a great fit for them, make sure it's relevant for them. If you knew that was happening and you were savvy, you could go in and change your profile to make it more relevant to that employer if you really wanted that job.
Absolutely. And I've always been surprised on who's tracked me down in the past from my LinkedIn profile, and it's just strong connections from the past. They'll obviously look at LinkedIn to try and reconnect, won't they?
Yeah, and so I do a lot of networking as a small business owner, and the amount of times if you go up to someone, you're going to the networking meeting, you receive the list in advance of who's going to be there, so you can go through and think, oh, that person might be worth talking to, and look them up on LinkedIn, look at what they've been doing, and then you've got a reason to go and talk to them in that room. And you say, well, I just wanted to say I saw what you said on LinkedIn about this, and I completely agree with you. And nearly everyone I've ever said something like that to has gone, oh, did you? Because you've been reading their LinkedIn posts. It's very flattering to them. So
talking about posts, so sometimes I've felt in the past I post and I don't get any responses and all the rest of it, and I wonder, am I just being ignored, or do I not say anything interesting? Or sometimes even, should I even say whatever I'm thinking of saying? Well, what would you say the advice is on posts for LinkedIn?
I think that there's a couple of things to remember. Social media is just a conversation. You're just chatting to someone about either something you're pretty pleased with, something you want to know the answer to, something that's been bothering you. So how would you say that in a business way to the person that really matters? And I always think of LinkedIn as the virtual networking room. When you sign on to LinkedIn, you open that door, you step in, and you think, who do I want to talk to today? And if you're a business to business person and you've got your marketing head on, you've got who you're going to focus on. The number one golden rule of marketing is know your audience. So if you know who they are, you put it in, you don't worry about the rest of it. You just focus those posts on that particular person. So you could say, hey, train drivers, what do you think of this? So
like that example there, hey, train drivers, what do you think of this? How do you get your posts to be seen by the train drivers?
Well, if you were really targeting train drivers, you probably provide a product that they need. So you would have connected with them in the first place.
Yeah.
If you're brand new to LinkedIn and you haven't got any connections, you need to have some sort of idea of the people you want to connect with. And it generally will start with the people who are closest to you. So, another way to visualize it is when you're posting, you drop the pebble in the water and you want your post will hit the first ripple, which is all the people you know directly. But really, to gain proper engagement, you want that second ripple or even the third ripple. And when you do look at LinkedIn and you look at your connections and who it connects you to, it's always some mind-boggling number. Like I've got a couple of thousand personal connections, but it connects me to something like 7 million people. And I think, well, you're never, ever going to be able to talk to all of them. But some of them over here, that third ripple might be really valuable. So it's those types of people. And you can target your posts just to being genuine, and having genuine conversations that sort of hit a work nerve with people.
So if someone wanted to prioritize, what's more important? Is it more important to put some posts out there, or would you say it's more important to comment on someone else's posts if you were just going to start getting more active in
I think if you're not very confident, there's always the adage of listen, talk, engage. So just go on LinkedIn and have a scout round and have a scroll up and down and see what thing, and then, you know, be brave enough to hit the like button on a post. But this is never forget, with an algorithm, the more you like stuff featuring cats walking across keyboards, the more LinkedIn will show you cats walking across keyboards, and then it will become less valuable. So if you want to use LinkedIn to build valuable connections or maybe even gain new clients, you follow the people that you want to be your client and you start liking their posts. And then LinkedIn will show you more of their posts. Then you could be brave enough to comment on one of their posts, and you're building that relationship. You can look up that company, see who works there, see if anybody wants to connect with you. There's lots of different ways you can pay. The way to paying for LinkedIn, you can build all sorts of lead generation lists in the back end of different versions of paid for LinkedIn, but it can be £100 a month to do that. So,
but what I've experienced myself in my previous world of selling is that, you know, when an inquiry comes in, to find that person on LinkedIn, and almost by making a comment on one of their posts or liking something or requesting to connect, you're taking part of that wall down with someone you've never spoken to before. It's an icebreaker by engaging.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I've got quite a few construction clients, and quite often, especially for the contractors, we get potential subbies will contract, you know, and they'll want to work with that contractor, so they'll comment on when I put up a successful, you know, contract post, and it's like, great job, we'd really love to help you on the next one. And yeah, that might just be a throwaway comment, but actually the contracts manager for that particular project, you know, might know that person, might get a job in their local area. You know, it's always worse. You know, you're still saying, here we are, this is what we do, look at my website, you know, make it all add up.
So before we move on to another area which I really want to discuss regarding LinkedIn, so just to run through what your suggestions are, or what the rules are, is your personal profile. You've got the landscape image at the top, which and it should be either, you know, who you're working for or what your profession is, but work related. Don't have your picture holding a margarita on a sandy beach.
No,
you know, it's a professional work.
Unless you're a mixologist as a profession, that's on a beach in a cabana. That's the only time.
And then you want to make sure that your main, I want to say, description is, you don't just say you're a marketeer as an example. You make it more specific. What is it you can do for the person who's looking at your profile?
Yeah, you said no. So your heading also needs to reflect your current job and expertise. So there are some people that sort of give themselves slightly strange job titles. Now, if you don't understand it when you say it out loud, then other people are probably not going to understand what you do.
Yeah.
So you know, so you can be, you know, head of charm offensive at whatever it is, but actually, are you just a sales director? You know, what's going to make sense to other people. The summary needs to be about you and not where you work, with professional expertise. The specialities, you can highlight specific areas of expertise, and then you've just got your education and your university bit that you can add in if you want to, but it's all there to be edited. You know, I can't stress that enough. Just put something on and then go and change it if you want to. Make it better.
Absolutely. Okay, so what is the difference, and how should it be used differently between a personal and a business LinkedIn, I'm going to call it, page?
So a company page, anyone can have a company page. You can just click on, when you sign into LinkedIn on a desktop, there's those little 9 dots that you can just click on, and it says create a company page at the very bottom. You can go and create one. And that essentially is the hub for what the business achieves. So it doesn't matter if your business is super tiny and there's just you and your dog. The business talks about what the company has achieved in the third person. And then you, as the person, can like and share that post with your personal insight. So really pleased to have finished this contract. Fantastic job by the whole team. On time, on budget, whatever it was. And that is what will gain you the engagement. So your company page will attract followers, which might be suppliers or other people in the local area. It could be your competitors, but so what? I always say to that, you know, so what if your competitors know what you're doing? You're proud of what you do. So, you know, just you're not saying anything that they couldn't find out in the first place if they really wanted to. And if you post it, you're in control of that content. So post away. Also, in the world where you're trying to win public sector contracts, you can't take those public sector procurement people out to lunch anymore. You will find them, very rarely find them out networking. So how are you going to get to know who they are? If you are bidding for those contracts, you can be sure as anything that they will be doing their digital due diligence by looking up your website, your LinkedIn, and not just, and for the business, not for you personally. So the better digital footprint you can have, the better it will be for your chances. Lots of bids now, you have to put your digital footprint on, you have to put your website on and other places that they can find you, just so they can do that.
And does a business profile, company profile on LinkedIn also show up on Google search and things like that, or is it just a personal one?
Oh yeah, no, it would do. It would, if you did your specific search, it absolutely would do. Okay,
and so therefore my brain is saying, in actual fact, however hard you work on your own company website, you may find that the LinkedIn company page could rank higher on Google.
Well, I had a meeting with a client before Christmas about their website and updating that, because I'd been on their LinkedIn company page and their website had been done, and basically they were 18 months out of sync with the content. They had all the jobs that they'd been posting on their website had not been updated on their LinkedIn. And so if you were scrolling through their posts on LinkedIn and going, oh, they've done that job, they've done that job, you wouldn't see it on the website and vice versa. So okay, nothing
you need to make sure it synchronizes with each other then.
Well, but because at the end of the day, with your marketing strategy, LinkedIn needs to form part of your marketing strategy. It's not just standalone. And if your main goal is to drive people to your website so they can find out lots more about what you do, or even buy things on your website, then you absolutely need to make sure that the content you're placing on your LinkedIn page is relevant to what's on your website.
Okay, that's brilliant. So I guess, Kelly, really where we really start is on our personal profiles. What would you say are the golden rules there?
Okay, with your personal profile, you need to make sure that your heading actually works for you. that it's something that is relevant to what you're doing, that your picture is of you, that you are using a photo that's up to date, your summary is about you and not where you work, and that you can highlight your areas of expertise using specialties. You can then you add your experience, which is the CV bit, and your education, but your heading and your photo and your summary are the three most important things about your personal profile. If someone gets past that reading your profile, then they probably seriously are looking to headhunt you or take you on for a contract or something. So make sure those three are right.
So we've got our profile sorted out, and then it comes down to posting. And I know earlier we spoke about engaging in other people's posts, but what would you say the golden rules, or should I be really considering when I start posting on my LinkedIn profile, or should I, how could I improve the posts I do on my LinkedIn profile?
Well, I think a lot of people get a bit overwhelmed with what to post, and a lot of things. I don't know what to write. So I like to have a 3-2-1 rule. So for every 3 posts that are key to your messaging, which is, we've got this new product, here's our brilliant project that's been completed, how about this for a service, here's a testimonial, those types of things. Then do 2 that show that you love what you do, which can be, here's an article about TikTok being banned in America, or here's just something that shows that you really are the expert. If your job title says that you're an expert, then you need a couple of posts that show that you are the expert. And then then just have 1 post that shows you're a human, because people buy people. So, it's absolutely fine to be saying, here I am, I'm running a marathon for charity. If any of you want to sponsor me, then please do. But a lot of people do know their lives have come, working from home. There's, I'm working from home today. So yes, it is. The lines are a lot more blurred than they used to be. But you can be really clear with your key messaging posts about the work that you want to do for people, the products you want to sell to people, the achievements your business has made. And then you can be clear about your expertise in showing what you do. And then you get them to like you by being the human. So that doesn't matter how many, whether it's 300 posts or 6 posts. Just have a ratio that is sort of 3-2-1, and you won't go far wrong.
Okay, so they're really powerful guides you've given us there on posts. I guess my other question is, should you always have an image on a post? I know you can do video, but let's just start with image, or do you post without images?
Yeah, it's really interesting because LinkedIn also uses hashtags, because hashtags make your post searchable. That's the whole reason hashtags were invented. People forget that if you went into LinkedIn and you typed the hashtag construction, you'd get a list of stuff that mentioned construction.
Okay.
So you can use them, but you can also use them in an ironic way. So I quite often use the let's do the washing up hashtag said no woman ever. So those types of things make them interesting. I wouldn't use 50 like Instagram wants you to use. I'm a bit old school. I like to pepper them through the text rather than have a load at the bottom. But you don't have to do that. There's the LinkedIn algorithm is a big, complicated beast. You do need to use alt text if you're going to put images on your post. And LinkedIn will allow you to do that because it's just like Google. It can't read pictures. And a lot of people use screen readers. So if you're visually impaired, you'll need a screen image of a woman holding a cat, So, but you can have here's our new product, and you can have a hyperlink in that alt text. And video is the most engaging thing you can do. What a lot of people don't do with the videos that they put on LinkedIn, though, is they don't subtitle them, which is a big mistake, because LinkedIn is the one social media that you can use if you're in an office, and your boss won't be over your shoulder going, what are you doing that for? But you might have it on silent so that you're not annoying your colleagues. And if the video's playing and someone's then you can't hear what they're saying. Okay. So you really need the subtitles.
Can we just do some jargon busting, just for those who aren't living in the world of LinkedIn or marketing? So what is an alt tag?
An alt tag is the bit of text that you put behind an image.
Okay, so that's what I've named the image. Is that correct?
Yeah. And when you upload the image, then it will, next to it, you can edit the image. You can go in and tag people that are in the image. Okay. And then they will receive a notification that they're in. Okay. So it's a way of, if you go networking and you're in a room of 30 people, and you've come away with a list and you don't know who they are, but you can just tag them all in that image, and then you've got 30 people looking at your post immediately. Okay, so it's almost like post in its own right, almost, by doing the alt tags. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, it does take a little while to do stuff like that. You do need a 5. You can do it on the train home. If you don't want your eyes to fall out while you're looking at your phone, you can be sort of going, who is that? And then an algorithm. What is an algorithm in its rawest state? Well, the algorithm is the big beast that is the map of how it works. But there's, I would say LinkedIn and the algorithm is just as complicated as Google's. It's the strategy for them and sort of how they're going to grow and how they're going to show you the content that you want to see to get you coming back to it over and over again. It's how it creates engagement, how it gets you to keep looking. And I know that's quite a woolly answer, but what is an algorithm is a huge huge question, because it's a huge bit of kit. All the synapses and nuances in it. Pay attention to everything that you do to make sure that it's showing you what it thinks you want to see, which is why I refer back to my earlier point about if you're liking pictures of cats walking across keyboards, the algorithm will go, oh, she likes that, brilliant, I'll show her 10 more of those. So I'm guessing that this algorithm is also seeing how active you are, and it rewards people who are active. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it will rank you higher. The more you're active, the more engagement you're getting from your posts, LinkedIn will rank you higher. So you can jump up and down the rankings. I haven't been active enough recently, so I'm free falling through the rankings. But after today, I'll be posting away about this. So let's start wrapping this up. So if you want to be employed in a professional role, or you want to stand out from the crowd when people are considering or wanting to headhunt, or you want to impress customers who you're trying to sell to, you really should make sure your personal profile is business professional and how you'd want the business community to see you. Yeah, you as a person, absolutely. Okay. And when you talk about the about me, just to rerun this, you're talking about yourself, but more what you can do for people or why you are credible to do it. Yeah, it's about your skills at work, not where you work.
Okay, and if you are a business, or you've got a side business, then you use your company page to talk about everything about the company, and
So
and, and
that's the opposite. That isn't about you. That's
yeah,
about where you work.
sure.
So, so there you're talking about company achievements, people that you've worked with or companies that you've worked with, relevant website content, any updates, any hyperlinks that you can share, client wins, jobs, anything to do with the firm and not you personally.
And when we look at social media platforms across the realm, if you want to be noticed in business, then would you, as a safe bet, say that put your energy into LinkedIn rather than any other platform as your main
For business, absolutely. I mean,
for business? Yeah.
unless you are a wholly consumer-facing brand, but even then, you'll find your best suppliers probably through LinkedIn.
Okay. And how long would I get away with just spending 10 minutes a day on my LinkedIn profile and that would make a difference?
I mean, the best, if you're a time poor, busy person at work, diary some time for LinkedIn. There's loads of free scheduling help out there. So by scheduling, I mean you can save the post to go out at a certain time. So if you diaried Monday between 11 and 12 to do it, and you create 3 posts for that week, you can save them to go out via, even Canva will let you schedule things now. So there's lots and lots of free ways that you can do it. There's Zoho, you can use it as free platform if it's just you. And there's lots, and try them all. Find the one that works for you.
Okay. So we're going to do a shameless plug right now. So first of all, this podcast has been brought to you by the Academy World. And what the Academy World does is we support startup businesses, people thinking about starting up businesses, and specifically SMEs with up to sort of 10, 15 employees. So check us out on that at theacademy.world. Links are at the end and will be in the post below. So, Kelly, how can you help businesses and people with social media and marketing?
Well, we love helping clients just boost their business, whether it's strategy, websites, socials, advertising. We can do all of the above, or I'm just as happy to come in and sit down with people and say, why are you spending money on this? Why don't you stop spending money doing this? Maybe you can spend it doing this. Is this really helping you? Because I hate seeing people waste time and money, and I want them to achieve the most positive outcomes that they possibly can. And that's what we're all about. We've won 25 awards for clients. We have boosted brands and developed new headlines, and there's so many things that we can do, and we just love working with businesses to help them be better.
Okay, so what we will do is we will post all the companies and products we've discussed in the text below, so you can check them out, and of course Kelly's contact details and my contact details. But that's a wrap for today on this podcast. So thank you very much for joining us, and we look forward to coming another podcast in a week's time, and sharing more educational facts to help your business and your own personal career. Many thanks now. Bye now.
Bye.